Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We have the U.S. Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, Nellie Liang, and we have Brad Garlinghouse fresh off of Fox News this morning. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.38 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.3%, 62,200 plus for Bitcoin, 3,000 plus for Ethereum right now, 108.8 billion plus market cap for Tether for now. Oh boy, wait till you hear this. Brad Garlinghouse's clip on Fox, you're going to want it. 49 cents for XRP. We're off by 19.8% on the 7-day, but don't you worry about it. Oh, a change is going to come, ladies and gentlemen. Ranging between 48 and 50 cents. We'll keep an eye on it. I want to tell you about this. Gold is setting new highs, ladies and gentlemen. How many times I've told you? Go to Miles Franklin. Look at all the products they got. Gold Eagles, Silver Eagles, Maple Leafs, Gold Kangaroos, bars, silver, gold bars, platinum bars, rounds. They got it all. All you have to do is go sign up. And once you hit the sign up button in the top right, go right here and then just simply put dig gold in the referral code and you're straight. And then you can even email them if you already have an account. Then email them info@milesfranklin.com and put dig gold in the subject box. That's the way to get the best prices and services right there. Okay, now let's start right here because apparently we have found the only 3 people in the world that are slightly confused about the benefits of a Ripple launching a stablecoin, and they don't happen to mention that it's going to be launched off of Ethereum as well as the XRP ledger. Look at the confusion here. How could they be confused knowing Tether has been able to conflate Bitcoin for more than a decade? How could they be confused that having the USDC ERC20 token on the Ethereum network has been beneficial, but yet when it comes to Ripple and the XRP ledger, maybe it'll be good. What's wrong with these people?
Just briefly about the Ripple supposed stablecoin.
Supposed? Rob.
So they have XRP, which is a big altcoin. Supposedly they're thinking of launching a stablecoin.
They're not supposedly thinking about it, Rob. They're doing it.
I don't know. Do we need more stablecoins? I don't even really know. Obviously they're a great use case for crypto outside of Bitcoin. But Aaron Arnold, your quick thoughts on that. Have you followed that? Are they going to do it? Why are they doing it? Is it significant?
Here we go.
Yeah, it's a good question. They're doing it because they're seeing in the past 5 years, the stablecoin market has really blown up. Over 5 years ago, the crypto people, the Bitcoin people used to think, these third world countries, they're going to want Bitcoin because their currency is being devalued. And that's still true. But what they want more than Bitcoin right now is even just access to the US dollar. So they have a stable medium of exchange. And the regulations for stable coins have been getting better and better. And if you can get a piece of that market, any savvy businessman in that sector would want to. So Ripple is creating a stable coin on the XRP ledger. And will it get adopted? That remains to be seen. Is that kind of the antithesis of what you would do if you want to see XRP get adopted? I'm not sure. I think they could both they could both grow together. The thing is, what we have been seeing though is Ethereum and Ethereum L2 stablecoins kind of getting adopted more than others. But even USDC, which is an Ethereum US centric stablecoin, is multi-chain now with Solana and
It's a multi-chain with Solana, which crashes, right? The damn thing goes down more than my ex-girlfriend, for Christ's sake. Waiting all morning to hit you with that line. Listen, look, these guys here, what the confusion, God, I don't know, what's to come of all of this, I don't know. Maybe educate yourself before you decide to answer questions. Why does anybody have a problem going, you know, I really don't know that much about Ripple or XRP the token or stable coins being on their ledger, so I really couldn't speak to it. That's how, if I didn't know the answer, that's how I would come at that. And then I would engage someone else to maybe enlighten me if they are able to. That doesn't seem to be found here. It's just great confusion here. I guess if it was Bitcoin, no one would be confused about it, right? It wouldn't be a problem. But you know what? Just hold on to your hats, gentlemen. The big boys are here. The institutions are coming, and they won't be needing any of your help, right? That's what's coming. And stablecoin legislation is about to show you what's going on. And wait till you hear Brad Garlinghouse talk here in a second. This is a reminder of the kind of shape the Federal Reserve is in while we're talking about new innovative options to take advantage of to help the economy, like stablecoins. Yeah. And then we know Tether is on the chopping block for having all the money that has gone. Tether has laundered $10 billion a month that we know of for Russian sanction evasion. How about that one? Now, that is not sitting well with the U.S. Treasury, as you can imagine, and it may very well be the reason they go kick the doors in. I'm going to play a couple clips out of here. Shout out to 801 XRP for this. This is the U.S. Deputy Secretary of Treasury here, and I'm going to try to give you just the highlights. You're going to want every single bit of it, but I can only give you so much here. So let me give you this. Yeah, let me start right here with let me go into its video number 2. Let me find this for us. Here we go. First video.
There's 2 interbank settlement systems that enable banks to conduct these kinds of value transfers. First, there's the Clearinghouse RTP network, launched in 2017. But more recently, there's the Federal Reserve's FedNow service, which was launched in July 2023. It started with 35 institutions. It now has, as of February, 470 institutions. There's clearly an upward trend, but it's limited. And there's a couple reasons it could be limited. One, it takes some time to gain network effects. 2, there may be limited incentives on the parts of the intermediaries to make fast payments available to customers. They could lose out on some of their fees. Or it could just be there's limited consumer demand for fast payment systems given all the other available payment options.
And regardless, she goes on to press on about why we need to move and accept this innovation and bring it forward, including the conversations based around tokenization and security fails, which she talks about in the second video. We don't need to go into this. I want to highlight it for us, but I want to start with this. I think it's this one right here. So 1 second here. Let me get this queued up for us.
Some of the potential benefits.
Right here. Okay, so let me cue this up for us. So we have this. You're going to want this as well. This is dealing with updates, regulations for non-banks, which is the current status of Ripple.
Part of the tokenization, so in the US, I think you also need to update the regulations for non-banks. Advances in technology on their own aren't going to ensure that we get these benefits. Non-bank payment service providers are regulated at the state level. Many of these frameworks were introduced in the 1930s for wire services like Western Union. So our current payment firms are quite different. The firms are growing. They increase competition. They can create efficiencies from innovation because they specialize. They just do payments. They don't do everything. But they can also introduce risk because they're creating money that is from non-banks, not banks. So there's some risk in the way they transfer value across account holders. So I would argue that as part of these advances in technology that I believe we should be trying to adopt, you also want to update the framework to address the risks, but also perhaps to encourage faster adoption.
So that right there is talking about the market infrastructure, which Ripple's been working on for more than a decade. Reminder that they're also a part of FedNow, and let's keep going.
So just for those who are, we spend a bit of time on stablecoin legislation, which includes requirements regarding the assets to back the stablecoin, as well as high standards for operational risk and illicit finance. And these would sort of, they capture the elements of what an important, like, new payment regulatory framework should cover.
And we all know what that entails from the new stablecoin bill. Now, let me give you one more here, which you're going to want to see here. And this is about the importance of why all of this is even being talked about. It isn't because they're chasing green candles, and it isn't because they're interested in meme coins. This is about why I'm here. The role of the US dollar around the world as the world reserve currency. And the deputy of the U.S. Treasury Secretary is getting ready to tell it to your face. And then we're going to hear from Brad Garlinghouse, and wait till you hear what he says. Take a listen to this.
Not to be a national security system. The role of the payment system would be to support the role of the US dollar by having it maintain its technological status aligned with the rest of the world.
There you have it. This is about the power and dominance of the US dollar serving as a world reserve currency.
As I mentioned, about 100 countries now have fast payment systems. There are many countries, they're looking at tokenization. Many are looking at CBDC, which is one form of tokenization. The U.S. needs to be engaged in those discussions. It's not a tool. The payment system is not a tool. It's a tool for national security. It's a tool just to support the continued use of the dollar, which has many other advantages for the United States other than national security. As you know, we benefit from the role of the dollar.
And we sure do. You tell them, Nellie. Listen, let's understand this very quickly, too. Sologenic was joined by innovators here, but take a listen to this and what they're doing.
I'm Mike McCluskey, Head of Strategic Partnerships at Sologenic.
I'm Marcus. I'm the SVP of RippleX, and RippleX, as you may know, is basically overseeing all the contributions of Ripple to the XRP ledger.
What we're working on here at Sologenic is real-world asset tokenization. So we are mostly focused on tokenizing stocks and ETFs, but we have the technology infrastructure to tokenize really any asset. Our position is that financial institutions are going to want to trade and build portfolios with tokenized securities. And so we're really building for where the puck is going because we see in the future that's going to be a very important piece to every asset manager's portfolio.
Oh, super excited about what you guys are doing. And look, we at Ripple, we see RWA really as a key strategic pillar, particularly on RippleX. You probably all have seen the news with BlackRock basically launching a tokenized money market fund. And I think it really manifests that we're at the start of a paradigm shift where blockchain technology will be integrated in the real financial economy by traditional financial institutions.
And that's 1,000,000% on point right there. Now let me take you right to this. Shout out to Chad Steingraber for this. Brad Garlinghouse just recently on Fox. You want every single bit of this. And Tether comes up as well as stable coins on the XRP ledger. Oh my, oh my.
Take a look at crypto this morning as we see stocks moving higher. Crypto is as well. Bitcoin at 62,000. As you see, Ethereum, Litecoin, all up this morning. Joining me right now exclusively is the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Brad, it's great to see you.
Great to see you again.
Thank you so much for being here. First, assess where we are in this market because crypto's up huge in just the last couple of weeks, right?
Well, it's been up. It came down a little bit this past weekend, but I think if you step back here over the last 6 months, Bitcoin's up about 250%. I think you're going to continue to see tailwinds, partly because of the ETFs that have been approved, which you and I spoke about in Davos, but also the upcoming halving, which is imminent.
Yeah, it's a great point. The ETF introduction really broadened out the market. in terms of potential users, I think. And people wanted to get in on it, so they bought an ETF to do so. But you recently predicted that the crypto market will double in size to $5 trillion by the end of 2024. That is a big prediction just by the end of this year.
Yeah, I don't even feel like it's that big a prediction when you step back. And, like any market, this is driven by supply and demand. You have decreasing supply for a whole bunch of reasons, the halving Bitcoin being an important one. You have an increasing demand, the ETF being a key part of that. And I think it's also people realizing that crypto plays a role as an asset. It's a $2.5 trillion market, maybe it's a little less than that now. But so it's basically just predicting it's going to double by the end of the year. And if anything, I think I probably underpredicted that.
I feel like Washington is still trying to understand this market, and the people writing the legislation, potential legislation here, to put barriers and around this market. I don't know that they really understand the strength and the growth story here. But you think putting regulation around this, putting barriers in place, is going to be a positive for this market?
There is no question. I mean, one of the headwinds that has held back the market, the largest economy in the world, the United States, has been one of the most problematic for the crypto market. Innovation, entrepreneurs, and capital have flown into markets that have actually constructively engaged this market. So Dubai, Singapore, even the UK, the EU has passed legislative progress here. The U.S. has really been behind the eight ball. This administration, I think, has taken a pretty anti-crypto stance, led by the SEC. Gary Gensler, as the chair, has really taken...
Because he doesn't understand it.
I think there's...
Well, maybe he does, and the people working for him don't.
It's not clear to me. I mean, clearly, I think you have politicians, and I would frankly call out Elizabeth Warren, goes out and says the only people using crypto are, bad actors. It's just not true. And the U.S. should have a pro-innovation, pro-compliance policy. This is good for, in terms of growing jobs, high-paying jobs, growing the economy. And I think you're seeing that, people go out and just, talking points around anti-crypto that it doesn't even make sense. This shouldn't even be a partisan issue. Amen. This is about growing our economy.
Yeah.
This is about leading the next wave of innovation. Right. I was around Silicon Valley when the internet was booming, massive amount of value creation, massive amount of job creation. The blockchain and crypto space is here to stay, and I think that's become clearer and clearer. But the U.S. government needs to embrace that and put those clear rules around it so that all participants can play and grow.
Yeah,
listen to this next segment.
All of those countries, because that's also an opportunity for you, obviously at Ripple. I want to get your take on that because you recently announced Ripple is launching a U.S. dollar-backed stablecoin later this year. You say this bridges the gap between traditional finance and cryptocurrency. Tell us how that will play out, why it's valuable, and give us the growth story for Ripple. Where does growth come from at your company in the coming 3 years?
So to start with that last piece, Ripple, about over 95% of our customers are non-U.S. financial institutions. We sell payment solutions, we sell custody solutions around blockchain and crypto. We're going to keep expanding, even though the U.S. market, as we were talking about earlier, partly from a regulatory point of view, has been slow to adopt. The non-U.S. market has been really, really strong for us. And you're
going to be the infrastructure around all of that.
That is our goal. And we think that opportunity is huge. We think it's going to be great for Ripple. We think it's going to be great for XRP, which is a digital asset we use. So I'm very, very optimistic about that. I just think that the U.S. needs to figure it out.
And the stablecoin?
Oh, the stablecoin. So Ripple has always been about how do we bridge this new world with a traditional kind of, people call it TradFi, traditional finance. And Ripple has always been that bridge. We started around payments and we sell into banks. A stablecoin, the demand for stablecoins has exceeded, I think, what people thought. It's a $150 billion asset class right now. Some forecast it to be over 2-3 trillion in a few years.
That would mean, by the way, very quickly, not to interrupt, that if we see a $2.8 trillion stablecoin market in the next few years, that means that the crypto market cap would be between 40 and 60 trillion. Thought you would want to know.
The players in that space, particularly one called Tether, is a non-U.S. based entity. Uh-oh. And the U.S., frankly, is kind of going after that because they want this to be regulated.
Did you hear that? Well, that's the first we've ever heard of that.
Even though the U.S. market, as we were talking about earlier, partly from a regulatory point of view, has been slow to adopt, the non-U.S. market has been really, really strong for us. And you're going
to be the infrastructure around all of that.
That is our goal, and we think that...
And you're going to be the infrastructure around all of that. That is our goal. It sounds like to me that XRP Ledger is in a position to be revered as the HTTP for payments, for the Internet of Information, making it become and helping it become the Internet of Value. That's what it sounds like to me.
Opportunity is huge. We think it's going to be great for Ripple. We think it's going to be great for XRP, which is a digital asset we use. So I'm very, very optimistic about that. I just think that the U.S. needs to figure it out.
And the stablecoin?
Oh, the stablecoin. So like Ripple has always been about how do we bridge this new world with a traditional kind of, people call it TradFi, traditional finance. And Ripple has always been that bridge. We started around payments and we sell into banks. A stablecoin, the demand for stablecoins has exceeded, I think, what people thought. It's a $150 billion asset class right now. Some forecast it to be over 2-3 trillion in a few years. The players in that space, particularly one called Tether, is a non-US based entity. And the US, frankly, is kind of going after that because they want this to be regulated. Just yesterday, there's a new bill introduced in the Senate to create some stablecoin legislation, which I think is a positive step of like, hey, finally we might get some forward momentum there. But I think that market's going to grow a lot. I think a U.S.-based player who is compliance first has a great role to play.
It's a great story to tell. Brad, thank you.
Wow. I got to be honest. I mean, that sounds a lot like a bat signal to me, ladies and gentlemen. And if I was at Tether, I'd be turning in my time card. I don't give a shit how it works out. And whether the FDIC ends up taking it over, right? Conservatorship or whatever they refer to it as in the bill. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, it looks like a change is going to come. And if Brad Garlinghouse is talking about the obvious truth that the U.S. government is now targeting Tether, you better know it too. And I'm going to go back to a couple years ago when I brought up this point. It was a conversation that me and Big Skinny had, and it is simply this. If you are in a token and the only way that you're on and off ramp in that token is USD Tether, you better be thinking about your choices right now, ladies and gentlemen, and be comfortable in those choices. I'm not telling you to change. I'm telling you to be aware, because they probably won't send out an email when they do whatever it is they're going to do to either bring Tether in compliance or shut it down. Looking at the chart right here, deja vu, ladies and gentlemen, takes us back to 2017. Well, I like that kind of talk from Dark Defender, because 2017, 2018 gave us this right here. And boy, was that something to watch. I was here for it. If we get that again, sky really is the limit, and it could take us to $15 to $25 in a first to second leg move. The first leg move could take us up above $5 to $6, and then we could pull back and then go up even higher to that $10 to $15, $25 range that so many have talked about. I'm super excited, understanding where we are and the announcement of this stablecoin bill. And I don't think it'll be long now. You don't make these kind of statements without understanding that some kind of action is soon to follow. Not financial advice to me or anyone else. We're going into the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen. And boy, you're going to want to join us in there. If you think the Twitter sleuths in the XRP community or something, I'm about to show you the dangers of being on the internet. And boy, you could learn a lesson here. And it's for the whole family. No question about that. And we're going to go into it right now in digperspectives.com. Click the button for the Freedom Zone and come on in. All right, welcome back, everybody. Well, as described, I mean, this is like super creepy